What's up, people? It's the Trank 2010, and I'm here today doing a kind of another Let's Talk thing. And so, this idea came to me just the other day. I was watching Battlefield 1 stuff, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just cannot wait for this game. To be honest, Battlefield 1 makes me feel almost like in my element. It makes me feel like my little nerd self back in the day, drawing all the new Call of Duty stuff, and just knowing all the information I can get to know about the game. But for Battlefield 1, and I kind of thought back, I haven't done this with a Call of Duty in a while. I haven't felt this way about a Call of Duty for quite some time. I haven't been like, oh man, let me draw some of this new stuff that I've seen. Let me go and try to research every tiny little thing. Let me go and search for hours about the next Call of Duty. And it's not that I'm not having fun with Call of Duty anymore, and it's not that I'm just bored of it. It's kind of just like, I don't know, I don't get that feeling in this game anymore. In that game, like in the games coming out, they don't really get me hyped up. Boom. And so that kind of brings me to the point of how much hype does a game need before it's too quote unquote overhyped, but then again, how much hype is like not enough to where it's just like underhyped and like you don't really care for the next game. And so like people always talk about a game or a show, like really anything being overhyped. Like basically, wow, there's so much backing to this and there's so much like, wow, this is so great, to the point where it's like, well, can you see past all of that and see the actual flaws in this? And people are actually saying that Battlefield 1 may be a bit overhyped. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like Battlefield 1 was the most liked trailer on YouTube, while Call of Duty being the most disliked and bandwagoning, blah, 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 stuff like that. But think about that. It's like how many people are like actually like this? How many people actually see the flaws and mistakes in this game? Is it too hyped? I don't know. I'm hyped about it. I cannot wait for so much of this stuff. There's a lot of balancing being done. There's a lot of everything, but you still gotta acknowledge that there is like bad things in the game. There is flaws. There is stuff that is in old Battlefield that may not suit everything. There is even new stuff that is kind of bad. Conquest changes are like, what? But we can get to that another day. Then there's the underhyping of a game, where I guess, like, you know, like you don't really feel like, you're like, oh, just another game, who cares? Why do I want to spend my money on this game? It doesn't look like it's going to be wild. To be honest, maybe in some cases just like, well, it looks exactly like the old game. It kind of gives you the thought of, why am I trying to get this, or why do I want to get this? Maybe I don't want to get this at all. And it may look cooler when there's like gameplay and stuff with it, or it may look cool once the game actually comes out and there's people playing it, but like, how much, like, it's just a factor of, you need to get your fans at least a bit hype for a game. Whether you're an indie developer who has no type of backing whatsoever to just like try to attract new people who want to do this, who want to, you know, get this, to AAA developers who have large fans and they have people who are always down for the new game, but you still want them to have some sort of sense and purpose for this. And I guess for the Call of Duties, it's been a bit lackluster, at least for me. I'm always like, oh cool, this. Like, back when the Infinite Warfare trailer came, I'm like, oh, these mechs look pretty cool, and all types of stuff like that. But I've never been, you know, really enticed to like, whoa, this looks revolutionary. Where Battlefield 1, I was like, whoa, airships, whoa, trains, boats, planes, just guns, everything looks so amazing. So you have to try to find this middle ground of where you can just completely just get your fans hype, but, you know, maybe as a developer, you don't want to cross that overhyped line where it's like, man, this game has so much backing that once people get it, they're going to be disappointed because it's not what they expected. They didn't, like, they wanted a God game, and no one can supply a God game. No one can give you a perfect game. And it seems like when people want games like this, they want games that are perfect, and no game can be perfect. So a good amount of hyping can get a game like completely hyped, but like it won't kill, you know, a game either at launch. So I don't know. Call of Duty, I guess, hasn't been doing such a good job. I don't know. It's like I'm in a weird situation. Like, I've been really hyped for Battlefield. I've been really hyped for Xenoverse 2 as well. And I might actually, like, if you see a Xenoverse or a Dragon Ball video pop up on my channel sometime in the future, just expect it, because I am completely hyped for the game. And it does look like Xenoverse 1. It does look like there's almost no changes. And for someone who looks at the games side by side, they may think, well, they're both the same game, but they are really not. And if you actually like know the games, it is like, it's so crazy the difference, and that gives me hype. There's just so many abilities to for the games, like where the game can go is crazy. It's the same for me with Battlefield. I'm even hyped for this campaign. I'm hoping that the campaign is going to be awesome. Battlefield 3's campaign was like alright, but though it was brought to my attention that, like, yeah, it wasn't really too memorable. For Battlefield 4 is, I felt like the game, the campaign was memorable, but at the same time, it wasn't that long. It was really just lackluster compared to Battlefield 3 and even just the Call of Duties. So like, even like, just everything is getting me hype about these games, and well, maybe Call of Duty can do something about this. I want to say though that Call of Duty did get me hyped recently with their new release of the gameplay. Now that was pretty cool. And so that's about it. This is just my random talks about hype and whatever. If you like the video, leave a like. I try to do these Let's Talks whenever I feel like, you know, an idea needs to be brought up or whatever and talked about. So yeah, I'll talk to you all later.